Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Greene County Express Steve and Gregg Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood with the South Greene Lady Rebels basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with South Greene head coach Steve and Gregg. Coach, how are we doing this morning?
Doing good.
So, we've got one game to talk about. I think the most previous game was the Friday night game with Happy Valley. That was on your schedule. That was a makeup game from earlier in January. It was the last conference game of the season. Picked up another win in that one. I think it was a 65-25 final. Went up there to play. Always good to get one on the road. Talk about how good that felt to go on the road and get one.
Yeah, that was important. Last couple of years, we've kind of not played good against Happy Valley. That's kind of been the team in the league that's kind of been a sore on our side. But we did have a slow start, and that's kind of something that we preached on this year. You know, at this juncture of the season, moving forward, I feel like you've got to be the aggressor and jump out front. So, you know, that's one concern I have is that we spotted them 6 points, but gave up 25 on the night, which I'm pleased with. But, you know, you play really great teams at this year. You fall behind. Sometimes it's hard to surmount a comeback. So it was good because we ended up going 9-1, co-champs. So we did control that part just to, you know, check off that first box. You know, we hate that we had to share it with Hampton, but being co-champs is always a good thing.
I know you'd rather be outright champs, but better to be co-champs than sole second place without being co-champs, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
And we talked about it last week. Your approach to it in your preparation, you said, was business-like. You had to go up there and take care of business. That was the only way to get things done and make sure you had that claim to be co-champions also. Is your preparation any different going into that game into what it's like going into the district tournament?
This whole week has been a little different. We'll talk about that. Kind of some things that we've been doing in practice to get ready for this second season is the way we classify it. First season's over, first stage is over. But the Happy Valley game, we did some good things outside of the 6-0 spurt that we gave them. We had 16 made baskets first half, and we assisted on 11. So that tells us we're sharing the ball and we're not trying to go create a lot of one-on-one stuff. So I told the girls I'd take that every halftime, you know, 11 assists on 16 made buckets. Overall, we had 3 girls double digits, and I think Riley hit 3 threes, so, you know, she was a point away from being the 4th one. So kind of goes back to some things that we've been carrying over. If you got 3 or 4 in double digits every night, you know, you would hope that your defense, you can rely on your defense to win some games. And that's kind of been, you know, to answer your question, a precursor here to what we're trying to fix. We've had a solid week of just fundamental defensive drills and things to prepare us to be better, whether it be in a full court pressing situation or being less prideful and just getting back down to the paint and defending the paint and, you know, trying to slop around and maybe keeping a lower margin of victory.
I know I talked about with Coach Hosey that if you get over 80 in a boys basketball game, you've got a really good chance at winning that game. For you in girls basketball, what is your magic number that you always try to shoot for? Because I know 65 was a good mark that you got against Happy Valley, that if you get 65, you're always in a good position to win. What's always your magic number you try to get to?
Well, it's been kind of different this year. Seems like we've been real reserved and gave up a lot of points. You know, we're trying to just run and gun and get out and go. And so we've tried to tighten things up and focus more on defense because, you know, your offense is not going to carry you every night. So I would kind of flip the script and say if we can hold a team to X amount of points, I like our chances instead of looking at it from the offensive side.
Okay.
But we do have the capability of, you know, having 4, even 5 in double digits if we're out running the floor and rim running and getting our transition lanes going. But we've just had to switch everything on our mindset from Christmas. We had a lull there to where a lot of things were exposed, a lot of things were opened up, and had just a lot of sit down with our team and talks. And so we're really blessed to have this week. You know, some coaches say, "Oh, it's been 6-7 days before you play." That's kind of where we're at, but we really needed to be in the gym to work on some things. But I would say, if we can hold a team in the 40s, we're probably going to win, minus the North Greene game. We held them in the 40s. Since Christmas, we've been probably holding people to 30s and 40s. So that was something that needed to be fixed. But with that said, you can't have bad offensive nights either. So I would say we can hold teams in 40s, we're going to win.
It's been a good second half since Christmas, too. I think, has it only been 2 losses since Christmas? Hampton and Crockett, I think, are the only 2 that come to mind immediately.
No, Hampton and North Greene.
Was it North Greene?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So only 2 since Christmas, and we talked about some of the things that needed to be corrected after that classic, and it seems like a lot of those things have been fixed coming through the second half, because since January, only 2 losses. It's been a pretty good second half, hoping to carry that over into the district tournament now. You've got Chucky Doak on the schedule next, a team that you're very familiar with, playing for the 4th time this year.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go ahead and talk about that in just a minute, though, right after this break here on Grassroots Media.
Pizza, pancakes, or donuts, the Davy Crockett Travel Center in Baileyton has the cure for all your cravings. While you're there, shop our general store for souvenirs, gifts, and cellular accessories. In a hurry, grab a cold drink and a hot dog to go. Check us out on Facebook and come to Baileyton.
Pizza Inn offers contactless buffet to go with JoJo's Family Feast or anything on our menu for carryout. We also honor birthday parties and cater to businesses and large events. We make it easy. Call us today. Pizza Inn Greenville.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Greene County Express Steve and Gregg Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood with the Lady Rebels basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with head coach Steve and Gregg. So you've got Chucky Doak again on the schedule. 4th time this year. I know going into a game for the 4th time, your preparation is going to be somewhat different, because you kind of got to strategize for what you expect in each game, kind of adjust to what happened in the previous game. So what are some of your strategies and preparations going into this 4th matchup with Chucky Doak?
Well, I mean, the old adage says it's hard to beat a good team twice. It's even harder to beat a good team 3 times. And now here we are faced for the 4th time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this thing keeps on going back over the years. There's a big number on this as far as wins, losses. So Chucky Doak comes in aggressive and trying. And we played them 5 at least twice this year. So not blowout games. We've had one here that was kind of lopsided, but they find a way to get up to play South Greene. We just got to find a way to maintain and get up for them, and treat it like a county rival. That's one of our focuses here lately, is just to come out strong, have a good start and a better finish. And I've been beating it to death, but defense, we're kind of unpredictable. I'm sure we're kind of hard to scout on the defensive side, because we've tried so many tactics. We've tried this press, that press. We've even made up a press. I mean, we're drawing lines in the sand, and the first half of the year it was a lot of man, and now I've bent, and I've not broke, but I've played more zone in my career this year than I have any other time in my coaching career. So it's kind of having to adapt to what your team is effective at. And we've had a hard time trying to find our niche, and we're still looking. So that's why I say we're blessed to have a week here to work on some things. And it has gotten better, some things that's been a point of emphasis. I've been watching a lot of film on opponents, but not taking anyone past the next game. It's something I've always done. I don't look ahead, but you have to look ahead to see what's in the region, what's looming ahead. You've got GP, you've got Alcoa, and then you look a step further than that, you've got McMinn Central.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, McMinn Central just played to a 76-75 game. Probably 2 of the best teams in the state in our division. So looking at the big picture of things, we got to get hot now. We got to worry about Chucky Doak not slipping up on us, who has a experienced team now. They've got a lot of seniors, a lot of kids that have played. They've got more experience, probably court time, than us. So, they could be a dangerous team tournament time. Then if you get past that, you got Hampton, who is split with us, and they've just they're playing their best ball right now. I mean, they just knocked off Cloudland, gave Cloudland their only loss.
Mm-hmm.
And Hampton has the ability to speed people up and force them into a lot of turnovers and bad situations. So we kind of know what's ahead, but we're not losing focus, and we got to attack Chucky Doak first, and continue that winning tradition with them. And on our side, you talk about how are we going to attack them. Well, a lot of time it's who we're going to have playing that night. And that's kind of been one of our nemesis, too. We've still got kids injured. Even Emma seems like I've had her maybe twice in the last month be able to practice. So we're trying to face her back in where she's had both ankle injuries. Outside of her 3 ACL surgeries, she has rolled both ankles bad this year. And then she got the stomach flu. So it's just been a plethora of things against her. And so we don't know how much she can go. And, Chucky Doak hadn't really seen her play. When we played them at the Classic, she got 2 early fouls and had to sit. She got injured in the game at Chucky Doak. She didn't play in the game at South Greene. So I'm just trying to learn where she fits into the mix of things again. So with that said, I've had other kids step up and get some court time and make opportunities, and some kids are developing in practice. But it's a new team. Like I said, our experience, we don't have a whole lot of experience right now in the big tournament atmosphere. So it's kind of
new.
Yeah, it's kind of a conundrum here to see, are we going to get this out of this player? Are we going to get this out of this player? But we're definitely going to put our focus on Chucky Doak. And if we win that game tomorrow night, then we'll come in here and we'll work to get back at Hampton. But if there's ever been a year to want to win your district, it's this year.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I think GP's ahead of Alcoa. And you would want to see an Alcoa over a GP in a semifinal matchup if you're fortunate enough to get that far. And then, if we can just get to a sub-state game, I think that was one of our goals that we set forth. And then, hopefully your kids are playing good district, regional tournament time, making that postseason push, that you would have confidence that maybe you could even go on the road and pull off a spoiler.
And, this is the time of the year to get hot, like you said, and I like the way you think about it as a second season. A lot of teams go into it thinking you're 0-0 every single game from here on out in a way, because you can afford to slip up in some games. Like, you could realistically lose these 2 and then be fine going into the regional tournament. But you'd like to win these, set yourself up for better positioning going forward. But I like that way you think of it as a new season, too. Is that something you've always kind of treated the postseason as?
Yeah, and then, you got a third season, and if you're blessed to get to the big dance, that's the fourth season. And, we take it season by season, game by game, opponent by opponent. And you have to nowadays, because there's so much that goes into game preparation and the access of game film and the ability to just share data and get film on somebody. It's like every time you play, they know more about your team than you do. And that's just modern technology and just, I guess, the level that girls basketball has evolved to.
And it's fun now that we're in the postseason. It's the most important time of the year. I know for a coach, though, it might be the most fun but stressful time of the year also.
You said that, stressful, and I preach to the kids, I try to bring a lot of energy in practice, and I told them, I said, I get more fired up because as an athlete and been in this situation and played, you understand what these last games, the last seasons, the last game feels like, and you don't want those kids to experience that too early. So I told them, I'm going to be more on edge. I'll be harder to live with. I'll be critiquing a lot harder because, they have to get it tuned in at this point in the season.
And it's fun. It's here. We've talked about it all year, and now's the time. You enter that game tomorrow night with Chucky Doak to start your postseason in round 1. We'll come in here next week, see what's on the schedule, whether it be Hampton or Happy Valley in the championship or consolation game, but best of luck when you play Chucky Doak for the 4th time this year. That's so odd to say that you're playing a team for the 4th time, but until next time, thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Greene County Express Steve and Gregg Show. Look forward to seeing y'all next time here on Grassroots Media.